between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the first UKEL Rift Roundup, sponsored by MSI. Tonight, my guests are Kiao, coach of Radiant, previous jungler for Click, the Cat, support for Bulldogs, and finally, Dakin, the jungler for Viperio. Tonight, we'll be discussing the results of Week 1's matches, as well as predicting tomorrow's games, and finally, answering questions from the chat. If you guys want to give a sort of short background about yourselves, we'll go from the top left across. So, Kiao, if you want to give a little bit of background, introduce yourself a bit more.
I'm Radiant's head coach. I milked the fact that I was DBL's assistant coach for a month. Yeah, so in theory, I won UK.
Perfect. We'll go to Previous next then.
I'm Previous. I'm the jungler for Click Esports. My camera is actually on. I'm just staying really still. And yeah,
Brilliant. The Cat.
So, my name is Ryan, or the Cat, and I'm support for Bulldog for the last 2 splits in the UK.
Epic. And finally, Dakin.
Basically, just field qualifiers in the UK League, so I chilled in Irish tournaments for about a year or two. That's it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. All right. So moving into the first game we had on Monday, it was Viperio versus Lions Creed. It was quite a back and forth game. We're lucky enough to have Dakin here from the game. So he pulled out a really, really good performance in that game on Sejuani, not actually dying a single time. Did you expect Lions Creed to be so ferocious and actually fight back as well as they did, being a team full of rookies?
Yeah, they stalled out pretty well, although it was also because they were playing Cassio and Zaya, so it was like pretty hard to close out, and we had like quite an early game.
Oh.
I think you were saying they had an early game comp and was struggling to close
out. He's just frozen there. That's fine. We'll come back to him later. Kiao, actually, we'll just move on to a question I had for you later. Bringing in a team full of such rookies, how do you mold them into a better team? Do you sort them around KZ, one of the more experienced members of the team? Do you look for him to be scoring you the points early on in the season?
I mean, I think you definitely need to see who will be more confident at the beginning, because not all rookies will feel like the same during the games. So you play around whoever feels more comfortable, which obviously from the first game you could assume it's KZ.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you need to see which rookie will step up to be like a leader within the team, because I feel like that's definitely what Lions Creed lacked in just judging from the first game.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Dakin, you've rejoined us again. You had a little bit of a lag out there.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you think it was more you guys inting with the BB Muffin being caught twice with the teleport, or do you think it was Lions Creed holding themselves quite well?
I'd say it was more us inting, to be honest. I mean, we had like 10 or 12k gold lead at 20 minutes. I think we just turbo inted Baron and inted our sides, pretty much.
Yeah,
And
that's...
after that, we also ended team fights. It was quite a sloppy game.
Yeah. I, for one, and I'm sure many others do, have Viperio pegged quite highly. I think that they're going to finish around first or second. Who do you think poses the highest challenge to yourselves for a top spot?
On paper, the roster was probably Click whenever they announced they got Bendix.
Yeah.
Because that was like a big pickup for this league. I guess we'll say Radiant because Kiao's here. And then Bulldog.
You want to be nice, so he doesn't flame you later on.
Yeah. We'll say those are top 4.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. With actually Lions Creed, looking at it, they did bring in a new top for tomorrow, and not for tomorrow, for the league in general. The guy was what was his name? I Will Trade. Do you think him bringing in that now and having KZ as well? Do you think that they'll be considered for top 4, or do you think they'll be still around the bottom?
I think we played against I Will Trade in our game.
Oh yeah, no, you did. Mine's boggling.
Right, yeah, because he was typing in pre-game chat. He was like, "What's up, randoms?" and all that shit. So he was pretty cocky. What did he play? Camille? I guess he's in a counter matchup, so he couldn't do much. But I guess we'll just have to see from him. But I think he was the highest player, like highest ranked member on his team. So
yeah, no. When I saw him coming in, I expected them to actually have a bit more of a fight in them going into that, and it turns out they did. But are there any junglers in the league actually that you're looking to that you think can challenge you?
Well, I mean, there's previous here, so I can't say that he's not in it, right? That would be rude. I guess I don't know. All the junglers played weird actually. I watched the games back, the early games, and a lot of them like turbo ended their tempo. Like they just like the whole game was dead for the first 10 minutes in almost all the games, I think, except ours.
Yeah.
Maybe not everyone. So I think everyone had like a lot of jitters first game, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, KZ coming out with quite a strong performance in that Viperio versus Lions Creed game as well. Eventually, when he managed to get a few kills on him, the AD carry position is looking quite stacked anyway within the league. I think we have probably, maybe not necessarily the top players, but I think it goes quite deep. Kat, you have Gould by your side, your laner from last split as well. Would you agree with the AD carry department in the UKEL seems to be quite deep?
So we have a list of Gould, OSP, I think Jinsane also. I think it's quite a good AD carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the current AD carries are really good. I rate Gould probably like top 2 right now between them.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Yeah, Kiao?
Are we saying top 2 ADs?
Yeah, just sort of, well, it'd be too long to talk about like every single one of them, but it's quite a deep role in terms of ADs. Who would you peg as maybe like top 3?
I mean, not just bias, but let's say Jinsane as one of them. If he just controls his aggression and doesn't flash in every second. And then I'd probably say OSP.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Excuse me.
Do you not see to Aether, Casper, maybe Gould?
I think they're all relatively like close. I think you could make an argument for any of those 5 to be top 2.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I'm sure. We'll move on to Clique versus Mythos then. So we have Previous here. Sorry we haven't come to you yet, but the MVP candidate for that game. Dakin said earlier you had quite a slow start to it. You did go for that level 2 gank early and it didn't work out so well in your favor. What was the comms like after that to try and pick yourselves back up? Because you did end up falling a little bit early, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm quite lucky to have quite a mentally stable team, so it's quite nice that if I do make a mistake, then everyone's not going to tell out their mind, and everyone's kind of just like, oh, it's fine, I mean, just keep going. Yeah, I mean, like the comms for our team's like just solid, it's consistent, nobody kind of slacks, and everyone just does what they need to do, sort of thing. That's what I always feel. So
yeah,
I think that's one of the things that the experience from Bendix especially comes into fact. I mean, like again, the Smith, especially the mid to late game, was very, very strong for us. I think that is because we have experienced players, obviously. So I think that's like a really, really big thing for us.
Yeah, does having Bendix in the team give you a lot of confidence to push yourself and know that if you go for those aggressive plays, that he'll be there to back you up?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best mid laners I've ever played with. Obviously, I mean, there's a reason why I say that because he is an extremely talented player. But
yeah, definitely.
He's got this very weird thing where he really does like just enable you to just do your own play style, which I really, really enjoy to have. So Yeah, I don't know. He's just like so easy to work with and so easy to play with.
Yeah, no, it's great like having someone like that for when things go wrong, whether in scrims or comp, that you can really rely on and can be a real rock for the team. Does anyone else think that there's a player that really stands out apart from Bendix in the league? I really label him as like an S plus player. We'll start with Kiao actually on that talking point. Who else do you think really stands out and maybe like S plus S players?
I'm not sure if S plus. I think like Bendix is just like above everyone.
Yeah.
But maybe ST, I'd say Dino from our team.
Yeah, definitely came up with a really strong performance in the first week's game. Yeah.
Like don't think I think most, if not all, top laners will like struggle against him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Akkas is probably the closest to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
but
that,
I still think he's better than Akkas.
Yeah, no, anything to add, Dakin? Do you think anyone else really stands up there among Bendix as a really high tier player?
I'm trying to think of someone outside of my team because that would be boring to pick. Actually, no, I'm just gonna say my support Munch. I think he's like quite a bit above the rest of his competition, and he seems to always turbo win lane. And then, yeah, it's just a lot of fun playing with him. We normally 2v them up.
Yeah, no,
At
I
least
think
in our
that's good.
scrims.
Previous, you said earlier off stream that you were doing actually quite a lot of the prep work for the team, especially in terms of pick and ban. Going up against Mythos with quite a lot of unknown quantities, what was the preparation there? Was it just sort of trying to scout the players out as much as you can? Did you know anyone, or did you see that they had any previous competitive experience?
Honestly, I think I could just trash on their coach, honestly, with just on the fly drafting. So, yeah, and that's just what happened. It was just freelo, honestly. But no, I mean, like, some of the players are fairly predictable with their packs and stuff, honestly. So I like Momo being a player that is, she hasn't got like the biggest of shambles, but it's just got a decent enough shamble that I can be like, well, I kind of know what to expect, sort of thing. So it's like, there's certain teams where players are like, you know, you look at a Tyrant or something who has like these weird picks, like even stuff, but like Mythos is the team that's like quite standard, I think. So it is kind of like, well, just ban meta and it's kind of fine, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. We'll move on to Bulldogs versus NSG, actually. So we have Cat here as well. It's probably one of the most convincing wins of the night. It was very, very clean. A testament to the synergy that you must have built up previously, although there were a few fumbles in the bot lane. I remember a 2v2 kill that happened, actually. It's alright, we'll leave that out. So actually, I think complete opposites in that game with NSG versus Bulldogs, where you have the top lane and AD carry support built synergy, whereas NSG only just sort of got the team together, didn't have very much practice. How far do you actually see the synergy that you have, mainly in the bot lane, taking you in the UKEL?
I think for the UKL we have like quite a high ceiling that we could reach. It just really depends how well we perform on the day. The NSG game is a bit, I won't really look too much into it because of the fact that I still don't think they've announced their roster and they're like all like pretty much a and
Yeah.
I don't think they really had any like much of a clue on how to play like the game at all. So really our first test is tomorrow, I think, and I have high hopes. I think we could like get top 2, top 3 this league.
Yeah.
Obviously aiming to win it all.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I mean, a lot of people will expect like first week it was top 4 versus the non-top 4, and tomorrow will be the top 4 like 1-0s battling out and to see who will be better. I think that maybe Lions Creed as someone that could stand out and maybe take some of the games off the other players, that other teams that are 1-0. But yeah, so your team actually looked quite scary in that game with Zonkers popping off quite a lot and Commit actually proving themselves quite well. And now that you can see those two as known quantities on how well they can do, do you think that the mid jungle duo is a really hard strong point of your team?
I think like we all just gelled really well together. Like we all pretty much have like the same mindset of how to play. So I think it's more like mid jungle's obviously very good, and also I think like top laners like Ego's like really solid.
Mm-hmm.
He'd never like really loses to anyone. Obviously, he wins all his lanes, solo kills all his opponents like without leaving any without any doubt. And I think me and Gold can go against any bot lane like in the league, especially because a lot of them are just like new, like to playing with each other.
Yeah, definitely. We'll move on to Radiant versus Absolve then. So massive 1v9 performance coming in from Dino Ricard on that Kled. I really don't expect that we'll see him get it again, considering it's one of his most played champions, and he did come up with such a 1v9 performance on it. Kiao, was it quite a nail-biting game just to see it come so close to you guys losing it?
I mean, definitely, because I wouldn't even say it was close. We were pretty much losing for most of the time. I know a lot of people believe in the saying that you take one step backwards to take 2 steps forwards. We just believe in taking 3 steps forwards, no matter just constantly.
Fair enough.
So, I think we just need to tame our aggression and maybe just play not as cocky, because I'd say there's a thin line between being cocky and confident. But yeah, I think the game was. We saw a lot of like good things and bad things about our team.
Yeah, no, I see Radiant as quite a volatile team with everyone that I see. Apart from maybe Dino Ricard previously, when I saw that Tolian was on there, very off-meta player. You have a role-swapping support player, as well as Tyrion. Oh, fuck, I can't remember, actually. Pronunciation's a difficult thing for me, really. Tyrion. Yeah, Tyrion. Brilliant. With Tyrion and his small champion pool, how do you look to shore up the more unstable factors of your team to actually pump out consistent performance?
Well, I don't actually think it's. I think there's like a big misjudgment on like everyone's champion pools on this team, because like I'd say everyone is comfortable on like at least 5 champions. I know a lot of people basically think like top's like a Kled OTP, and like Tyrant's like an Eve OTP and stuff, but like really isn't. And I mean, hopefully we get to show that tomorrow and just throughout the league that everyone on this team plays much more than one champion.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I know tomorrow that you're not playing with Dino Ricard. How do you actually look to cope without your 1v9 carry player? Where do you see the team falling onto?
Well, the game we played, we basically had 0 practice. And even though I wouldn't say we're where I want us to be right now, especially in terms of like practice and so on, I think we're in a much more comfortable position than we were last week. And we are like starting to understand how to work and play as a team. I still think the game will probably be quite similar to what it was the first week, just maybe less ulti in the sky, so 1v4.
Did you give him a good stern talking to afterwards?
Not necessarily. You can teach a player how to be more calm. I don't think you can teach a player how to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
So I think it was fine.
Yeah. No, I
wasn't like angry about his performance.
Okay, still happy to come out with the win then, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, we'll move on to tomorrow's games just for a few little predictions. So I'll go to one of the more hyped games for tomorrow. Radiant versus Viperia. I have this probably as the matchup of the week. It's very key for setting the top dog of the split. So we'll start with Dakian. How do you see yourselves coming out with the win tomorrow?
Well, I'm not going to say we're not going to win. Yeah. I mean, I'd say we've won. Gal was saying they didn't even start scrimming until this week or something, but we've been scrimming actually quite a lot, and we're quite well practiced. So I'll say we'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you think the strengths lie in your team compared to Radiant?
I think like everyone on our team's a threat, pretty much. I know. Yeah, I think all of us can play carries or play like the fill roles or whatever in the team to facilitate the carries. So yeah, I think we're pretty versatile, and they'll just be like a better player wins game sort of game.
Yeah, no,
So
fair
I'd say
enough.
I'd go.
Yeah, I did pen Viperia to be sort of a triple threat team, but if you're able to all still play like a low econ style and still be a role player for the rest of the team, then see your chances is pretty good in the rest of the league. Kiel, same question to you. Where do you see your strengths compared to Viperia?
I mean, Dakin says they've practiced for a while now. I mean, and then they still struggled to like close the game out against like a pretty weak lines creed.
Yeah,
So...
well, you know what happens first game.
First game nerves, man. First game nerves.
So I don't think that's a good thing that they've practiced so much and they still look quite average. So I think it will definitely be a close game. I don't think by any means like any team will like stomp.
Yeah.
and I do think it will come down to like individual performance between the two teams.
Fair
with
enough.
obviously hoping we win.
Yeah, no. Pravius, who do you think is going to take that match?
I think it's going to be down to the 80 carries, honestly. I think if Viperio plays like they played against Lion Screed, I think there is a chance Jinsane just runs over the match, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I think his playstyle of just diving in, if Viperio doesn't respect that, they're going to get absolutely just run over, I think. But if they can stop that from happening, I think they... On paper, they should be stronger, but I think it just comes down to the 80 carries, honestly.
Yeah. Do you not think that from week one's performance, Aether is up to the scratch of going against Jin Lightning?
I mean, like I was on Enclave obviously with him last split, like we were both substituting and stuff. So I know Aether's a good player. It's just whether he had just like a shaky start or is he just like been away from competitive for too long. I'm not sure, but like if he plays like that again, I think there is a good chance that Jinsane just runs over him.
Yeah.
But if he goes back to what he used to be playing like, which I know he can play like, I think he should just run over Jinsane, honestly.
I didn't actually think he played that bad, to be honest. Considering he had to play Lucian into Xayah, Braum, and Cassio it was, so there wasn't like much for him to do on Lucian, and he still like actually dueled Xayah quite a bit. I don't know if it showed on stream, but give us openings. He was quite upset with his performance, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's
but
fair.
Obviously he pops off more in scrims, so I think he'll only play better.
Yeah, no, it'd be great to see. Kat, who do you see taking it?
I actually see it as a really clean win for Viperio. I think like Jinsane last week was really like shaky, and you could just see on Twitter after that he was like really not happy with his performance. And I think Viperio, like just with the time they have right now, they're just on a different level.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Where do you see as the main strength in Viperio?
So wait, who's your top laner again, Dakin?
Kenruto.
So it's Kenruto, you, BB Muffin, Aether, one spot lane.
It is a really strong all-around team. Yeah,
I think all-around's really strong. I'd say the support jungle and obviously Aether are probably the best players on that team.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Brilliant. We'll move on to the other main highlight match. That's Bulldogs versus Click. So obviously we've got two those players here as well. We'll start with Kat. Why do you see yourselves winning that match? Because I'm not going to ask you who do you see winning. Why do you see yourself winning?
So why do I see ourselves winning? I think we can roll over OSB and Satno.
Yeah.
I really love both of them and they're really good friends, but I think me and Gould, like, hopefully, I think so will be better. And I also think our like mid jungle aren't gonna get just outclassed by theirs. Even though I really respect Praves as a jungler, I think like us doing well bot lane and our mid jungle should be able to like match them blow for blow, and our top lane is always gonna be better.
Yeah, fair enough. Pravius, after it was strong from you guys as well, but a strong play from Bulldogs in week 1. Does that make you fear them a bit more now?
Not really, honestly. Obviously I know their team's fairly strong all around, but I mean it's just camp top in it and it's free win.
Fair enough.
Ego speed.
Yeah, Kat, going back to the question before about the synergy, do you think that early on especially is giving you quite a large advantage?
I'm not really too sure. I think versus the bottom 4 teams, yes it will. But versus the other like top 3, I think it's just depends on like who plays better on day, because obviously it's the best of 1. And I think if you're just fully focused, like the 5 of us, I think could like be anyone.
Yeah, fair enough. Previous, same question to you. How do you see yourselves actually winning in the end?
I think it comes because obviously I said it before, like our team's quite experienced where it comes to like competitive and stuff. So I think it just comes down to we should, in theory, just win off macro, to be honest.
Yeah.
But as I said, just camp top and massive lead next.
Camp top.
Yeah, camp top. GG.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll go to Dakin next. Who do you see coming out on top in that matchup?
Honestly, if Bulldogs jungler gets Nunu again and 1v9's the game, I'd give it to Bulldogs. If he gets Nunu, because he actually like turbo 1v9 that game. And there is also Dan Zoinkers in the mid lane. He's pretty 1v9er, but I don't know. It could go more like 2 ways. I'd say Bulldogs are a more volatile team compared to Click, because Click played really slow in their game. But they like picked it up in the mid game. I'll give it to Bulldogs because I think Dan can get some room going versus Bendix if he plays control mages again like he did in the first game.
Yeah, no, that's fair, and we'll finish on with Cal.
I think Click win. I think Bendix is like miles better than the mid laner.
Nah, not true, man. It's
Um,
Daniel White. You can't say that.
I think Akaz is better than Max. And I am really excited to see Gold and the Cat quote unquote roll over OSP and Sano. I think pretty sure both those bot lanes were 2v2 solo killed last week. So
We got 2v3 kills. We just couldn't deal with the 2v.
so yeah, I mean I think it'll be a fun game. But yeah, I think Click will win for sure.
All right, brilliant. We'll move on to the other games of the day then. So we have NSG versus Absolved. You don't have to elaborate too much if you don't want to. You can just say one line. We'll go from top left to right as we don't have any players present for those games. So we'll start with Kiao.
I think and hope NSG will win.
Okay.
Or maybe I think Absol will win, but I hope NSG do.
Fair enough. We'll go Previous next.
Oh, it's just going to be a major clown fiesta, isn't it? It's going to be everyone just running into each other, and yeah, I think Absolve should win it because it's the 400 CS win condition Casper team, isn't it? So if he doesn't get to 400 CS, and if Absolve play like they did
in the first week,
time,
yeah,
the early game, I think they just win it. Honestly.
Yeah. Cat.
I think Absolved have more synergy together. I'm pretty sure some of the players have played together before in Belong Arena or something. I think NSG really only have Casper as a threat, and I don't think that's enough to 1v Anacom.
Yeah, no, fair enough. We'll go to Dakin finally.
I think I'll give it to NSG. I actually quite liked Otto's path in the early game. He controlled Drake in the game whenever he like really shouldn't have had the chance to, and I thought he like played quite well. So I don't know if he can get Casper later.
Oh, do they? I saw it.
Wait, they don't have Otto?
I'm pretty. They don't have the same jungler as week one.
Oh.
Oh, NSG or Absolved?
Oh, NSG.
NSG have Shadow in Flames.
Oh. Wait, that's just intel, guys.
Wait, actually, Atto is Mythos.
Wait, he's not NSG?
Atto is Mythos, not NSG.
I thought it was on Casper's team. Anyways, alright.
That's alright.
Well then, I'm just gonna give it to Absolve then, because I thought Atto was on NSG.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, I think if they have an early game similar to what they had last week, then I think they'll definitely come up with the win. And finally, then we'll have Lions Creed versus Mythos. This Mythos is the one with Atto on. So we'll go from top left again. So Kiao, what do you think about that matchup?
Atto once played me in solo queues, so I hope Lions Creed win.
Perfect. I love the reasoning. Previous.
I think it's going to be up to KZ whether they win. Lions Creed will win. I think if he performs like he did against Vipero, I think he should be able to carry the game.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't perform, then I feel like Lions Creed still have a little bit of an edge, but it's going to be more 50-50. But I think KZ is going to be the turning factor, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. Cat.
I think Mythos Absolve is probably going to be a big clown fiesta too, and probably going to be the most even game. I'm not really too sure who would pick it up, but I would just say Mythos.
Yeah, fair enough. And finally, Dakin.
I'd actually give it the Lions Creed. I thought KZ and their Casio played well.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the mid name's name, but they both played well. Their jungler, if he can like pick it up a little bit, maybe not play Elise if he's not so comfortable on it, because I know he like messed up quite a bit in our game. So if their jungler's on a tank, he can facilitate his carries more. They could have like won the game if he wasn't so non-existent in R1.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he's on the tank or like just plays better, because it's his first game.
Yeah.
So if he plays better, I think Lions Creed will take it.
Yeah, Lions Creed made changes to their roster as well.
Yeah, they did. Who did they
just
get?
tweeted it.
Oh, okay.
What was the change?
Aero or something, some challenger mid laner apparently, but I hope you don't. Oh, I
Oh,
know who that
Aero.
is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, their mid lane is really fucking good actually. That guy's like actually worth a shit.
Anyway, let's have a look. Oof.
That's what I thought. Their top
Ooh.
was good as well.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, their top lane, their
Lightspeed's
top
for
lane is
sure.
good as well. Yeah, I would definitely go Lion Speed. I think that actually really shores them up. I mean, with that change now they have a really good top laner, really good mid laner, and they have KZ as well. Are any of you guys worried about them taking one of the top 4 spots? We'll start with Kiao then.
I mean, who are we claiming to be top 4?
I would assume that. So my top 4 at the moment is with Radiant, Viperio, Cleek, and Bulldogs all in there. But with this change in Lion's Creed, maybe something's different. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say Lion's Creed, especially with the mid laner now. They're like,
Who would you boot out?
I have both of them. Cats and Dakin's team.
Fair enough. Previous.
We're not first treated.
They're both gonna save me now. Fuck.
Whatever.
I'm not too sure. I mean, if they have like insanely better, because I don't know what their actual ranks, etc. Like,
their top laner was like Master 100 LP or something, and now their new mid laner's Challenger 600.
Yeah.
I mean, it really comes down to how much comp experience they have. Like, if they're really, really experienced, then I'd be like, yeah, for sure. But if they're kind of just like random solo queue players, I think it's not really gonna. I mean, they'll run over the bottom 4 teams for sure, but I don't know whether they can. Well, like the bottom 3 teams, but I don't know if they'll be able to contest higher up teams, honestly.
Yeah, no.
The mid laners played in a few like French teams, like low level ones, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see him contesting maybe top 4 then.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. It's a shame that he wasn't in last week and they didn't have time to prep, but I guess we'll see that in the coming weeks when they play against some of the stronger teams. So I think most people would now put Lion's Creed to take that one. We'll move on to a couple of other questions now. If anyone does have a question for the panel, if they could pop it into Twitch chat and I'll pick that up. If they could do an @UKEL for that one, and I'll be sure to ask it at the end. So sort of moving into a bit more tier list territory, what position do you peg as the strongest actually in the league at the moment? We've got a lot of deep AD carries. We've got some pretty S tier mid laners. We've got some pretty strong top laners. Where do you see it as having the most depth in the league? We'll start with Kiao.
I'd say probably ADC, because like even NSG, even though in theory they're one of the worst teams here, like Casper's still like one of the better ADs. I mean, you've got like KZ, Casper, Gold, OSP, Jinsane,
Aether.
Yeah, there's like not one bad ADC. There's like
Who are the ADs left?
Ollie, Oliver. Sorry, no, wait. It's like the bot lane's like Ollie and Ollie or whatever.
Yeah. That one, and then there's 2 ADs which maybe aren't like
Fuyu is an AD as well.
Oh yeah, but like the other 6 could probably like do decent even in.
You could you could swap them in and out of each team, and it wouldn't really make too much of a difference apart from maybe like Jinsane, Aether, Casper, potentially, and Gould. Okay, so, I mean they're all just pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say in terms of like best role, I'd say AD.
Yeah. Previous, do you think any role sort of matches that in terms of depth?
I feel like mid is fairly stacked for talent. I think especially at the top levels, like the top 4 teams, top 5 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the mid laners are like actually pretty good. Yeah. I mean, it really depends like on, like if you go off the week 1 performances, I think for sure mid lane like maybe made more impact than a lot of the AD carries did. I think, you know, Jinsane obviously did a lot in his game.
Yeah.
By running into 5 people, one-shotting someone.
Yeah, always going for that Sivir every time. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I think the mid laners in the league, especially at the top level, are like probably better than most of the other roles, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Dakin, no jungle representation there. How do you think jungle stacks up to the rest of the league?
Honestly, compared to other roles, quite weak. Yeah. Well, I mean that's just because mid has like Bendix, that challenger guy that's come in, BB Muffin, well, my personal bias, Soinkers, because I played on a team with him before.
Yeah.
And then obviously ADC is a lot stacked. I think jungle and support would be the weakest in this tournament.
Mm.
I think I'd say that, yeah, just compared to everyone else, like everyone else's ranks in the tournament as well.
I think you just sort of look to where the imports, no offense, have come in. I think that's where you see some of the higher players. So you got like Ken Ruto, Dino Ricard, Commit, Bendix, stuff like that. I mean, thankfully, there's enough good UK ADCs that pool is still pretty deep, and there's only, I think Jinsane's the only import, isn't he, for the AD carry position, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
The supportive cast is definitely the weaker side in this tournament in terms of like jungle support.
Yeah, us junglers just in.
Yeah, in for the team.
Yeah. Let's just run it down. Just hope to God the mids can carry.
Were there any rookies that you thought performed quite well in their debut match? Maybe the nerves didn't affect them as much and they still managed to show up pretty well. We'll start with Previous. Was there anyone that really took your eye?
No.
No? Short answer. Lovely.
I think, like, the only players... I mean, like, wait, is Dinocar a rookie or is he...
No, he's played before.
I don't think any of the rookies, like, actually stepped up. Like, I think it was... I don't know, really. I don't think there's any, like, players that just performed over the top other than Dinocar, honestly. I think everyone else just had, like, an okay performance. So I just say no then.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think it might take quite a while for them to sort of adapt to the role and get back in. If you think about Lions Creed now with their different players, like previously it was a team full of rookies, but now you've got their new mid laner, their top laner. It changes the dynamic of their team quite a lot. Dakin, what is happening?
I'm molested here.
What's your cat's name?
Georgie. She just came in from outside, so she's all wet and just wants to fuck. So
what? And she just
came from the outside. It was raining, and she got wet. Cow. We're not sexualizing our pets here.
Someone clip.
We're not sexualizing our pets here.
No, you
That's weird.
Okay, just.
It's not Shane Dawson. Don't worry. We'll move on to Twitch chat questions. So we've got Reclamation here at UKEL. Which team from the UKEL would be able to compete in the UKLC, assuming that's the aim for the majority of people? We'll start with the cat. So obviously you were on Bulldogs, who were in the UKLC last split, and there's 3 out of 5 remaining members. Do you think that you could go back in there and still perform well?
I honestly think we would struggle to perform well. Like, we still need a few weeks to get rolling. I feel like we have a good potential, but it's quite still new mid and jungle needs some time to like get our groove going, find our best playstyle, etc. I would actually say Click or Viperio.
Yeah, fair. We'll go on to Dakin.
Yeah, actually we scrimmed 2 UKLC teams. We got smashed by one of them, and then we smashed the other one. So it's like, it was just 2 scrim sets, but considering we did quite well in the one we won, and we actually, like, the scrim set we lost was like still good games. So I'd say we could definitely take out one of the bottom teams in UKEL.
Yeah, fair enough. Kiel?
I think, like, to do well in UKLC, I don't think right now any of the teams could, just judging from week 1.
Would you say on
taking out one of the bottom teams, is just to clarify?
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to pop off in UKEL. Take out one of the bottom ones.
Yeah, I think like the top 4 from UKEL could take games, or like just beat them in general, like from the bottom teams. But like do well, I don't think any team could. Yeah, I think we'll just have to see how the teams develop throughout the weeks and if they will improve a lot, because like some teams will look good the first few weeks, but then they like won't change at all. Whereas some teams will improve and some teams will get complaints and then get worse.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Previous?
I think some of the bottom level UKLC teams are just running it down. I think we smash them, honestly.
I love the confidence. He wants back in.
But no, I think it'd be very much whoever shows up on the day. I think some of the UKLC teams, as I said, like, are genuinely just running it down. I'm not going to name any names. I think we all know who they are.
I'd like you to name them.
Yeah, same time.
Barrage. But I think Viperio, if they perform as they should on paper, I think they could for sure take, bottom two teams for sure out. I think we could definitely contest, especially with our mid laner and stuff. Obviously he has UKLC level at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think we on a good day, I think we could for sure contest bottom level at least.
Yeah. Does anyone think that a UKEL team will be promoted this split? I'll start with Kiel.
Yeah, I think that whichever two teams or however ends up will promote, because if you consider that both Envision and Team Demise promoted, and they only had like Forge of Champions to prep.
Yeah.
I think with having like a whole league to prep, because that's at least how I look at UKEL, right? You're essentially just prepping for Forge Champions,
yeah.
and then for the qualifications. So I think whichever the top two teams from UKEL, they will both promote.
Yeah.
I don't know which two teams it will be.
Yeah,
Unless
will be one of them, but
unless bottom rosters change their rosters, then like obviously it would be different. But if you look at the current roster and how UKEL teams are, I think UKEL has quite a number of players that could play in UKLC, like and replace a few people in that league, or quite a few in the bottom teams. So I'm just gonna say maybe not both teams, because like if I'm assuming rosters are going to change after this split in the UKLC teams, that maybe UKEL could take one team. That is if everyone stays together on that team. Some people might get picked apart and put on UKLC teams.
Yeah, I mean, there are still some pretty decent UK players that aren't on any team in the UKEL, and they could still enter Forge of Champions and do pretty well. Do you think that the pool, somewhat though, is still dried out a little bit, Kat, for Forge of Champions from UK players that have joined UKEL?
I think there are quite a few players. For example, Aragon's playing DNC in first split. I also know there's players like, for example, Curbs gone on a split abroad.
Yep.
Also think there's another couple of players I think that have taken a break to split. I cannot remember the exact names.
Yeah. Like
Curb,
off top.
Artorias.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players that are just like hanging about.
Yeah.
It really just depends if they want to re-enter the scene.
Yeah.
Or if they want to go to a different region.
Yeah. And finally, Previous. Do you think a team from the UKEL will be promoted to UKLC through Forge of Champions this split?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see why not. As I said, I think there is massive issues with some of the lower down UKLC teams, I said before. And I think on the condition that UKEL teams stay together, I think they could definitely take spots. Again, it kind of just comes down to whoever shows up on the day, because it's like best of ones or best of threes, wherever they are. So, just like, I mean, there is a world where like a UKEL team gets like, Curb or Rifty or something, maybe just for the tournament or something, just to qualify. But
yeah, true.
But I think it's definitely a good chance.
Yeah.
I also think that there's also the factor that the teams that are in the relegation will have like lower morale than the UKL teams looking to promote.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we saw that last split where both us and Darkspawn really should have like re-qualified, but it's also the fact that the teams coming in wanted it more, and they were probably more in the zone of the day, while other teams were demotivated the fact they're playing relegations.
Yeah. Reclamation follow up with Cleek would be the only team I could see doing anything right now, apparently. Do you think that that's more coming from on paper, or do you think that as teams build up, we'll see things change? Kat, obviously, you have the pre-built synergy within Bulldogs yourselves. Do you think that the on paper talent of your team restricts yourselves a little bit?
No, I think that talent of our team actually will have a good chance of qualifying, and I think that we can. We just need time, because most of the rosters have only been together for 2-3 weeks. I think give it another 3-4 weeks, and you'll actually see like way more who could actually re-qualify. And I think there's definitely 2-3 teams who could challenge the UKLC, but not at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, and I'll finish off with a power ranking from each of you of what you think the top 4 teams at the moment are. Obviously, you're going to peg yourselves as the first, but we'll start with Kiao.
Oh shit. Okay, well, sure. Radiant first, then Click, then Viperio, then Lion's Creed,
Oh,
then Bulldog.
fair enough. We'll go on to Previous next.
Click first. Everyone else is irrelevant.
Perfect. Cat.
I would say it goes Bulldog, Click, Viperio, Lions Creed, Mythos, and then
It's not so.
And then Radiant lost. And finally Dakin.
Honestly, I think it's Viperio, Click, and then it's hard to pick after that. Because Lions Creed could be third. Then again, Bulldogs or Radiant could be third. So can I just put all 3 teams at third? Is that possible, or do I have to give?
Nah, that's all right.
That's
We'll
the
leave.
PR answer. I'd probably agree with that answer, but you have to be top 6.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be mean.
That's a UKLC format.
We'll just do.
Just put the names on the board. Just pick them out.
Lions Creed did get a challenger mid though, man. That's a big upgrade.
Yeah, very, very big.
That is huge. We'll just put Lions Creed third, and then. Yeah, okay, I was being a bit mean today, so we'll do Bulldogs fourth and Radiant fifth. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. All right, brilliant. And then we'll finish off our last question from Wise Traveller. Are you a professional statue at Previous?
Yeah, as I said at the start of the stream, my camera has been on all stream. It's just I'm sitting really still, so you decide.
Are you one of those people that just sits in London, stands still, and has a little hat out collecting change?
Yeah, basically. I would like to ask Wise the question of, is he a professional crane because of how tall he is? But
Hey, fantastic. All right. Well, brilliant. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming in to watch tonight. Catch our games tomorrow, as everyone will be playing. It will be starting at 6 p.m. But thank you very much for watching. Catch us next time.
Thank you.
We'll give a little outro for everyone, though. So if you want to plug sponsors or anything, we'll go from top left. So Kiao first.
What are Radiant sponsors?
Give me a
second.
1 second.
Alright, well, plug Radiant, GTO Mega, the chairs, X Gamer, and the cool floor pad. Do you want to see it? I don't think the webcam reaches. It's really awkward.
We'd love to see it.
There's a bit of it. Floor pad. There's my toes.
Oh yeah, no, we see it. I see the little just
A little bit of
the
it.
desk is sort of obstructing it a little bit,
Yeah.
but we can sort of
My
see
bad.
it.
Yeah, great floor pads. Only £60.
Epic, brilliant. Previous.
shout out to my Smith 1v9 mid lane, Bendix. Buy the new X570 MSI motherboards at MSI UK. And yeah, my Twitter, Previous_.
Brilliant. Cat.
yeah, all seem to plug in the X Gamer for use code Bulldogs for 10% off. I think it's 10. And also the GT Racing hand truck controller. And also shout out to my boys Gold, Ego, and the Fire of the Mid Lane Zoinkers. And follow Catlaw on Twitter.
Epic. Finally, Dakin.
Just shout out to all the Irish people that played in UKEL. All 4 of them won.
Hell yeah.
Although 3 of them are on the same team, but Irish women is 100%. So yeah,
True.
that's pretty good.
Brilliant. And on that note, we will end. Thank you very much for watching. This has been the UKEL Rift Roundup as brought to you by MSI. Thanks very much. Tune in tomorrow for some more action.